guys in cubes.
No.
Actually, what is the plural form of guy in a
It's
cube?
just guy in a cube.
Just guy in a cube.
Guy in a cube.
But there are two of them.
You can. There are two. There are. That's not what's going to rattle your brain.
Yep, that's not it.
What rattles your brain is when someone says, "What do you do if a woman joins your team?"
Then it's a person in a cube. Person in cubes.
Yeah, but you can't change the brand.
Okay.
Like it's a.
This is not politically correct.
No, it's no, not at all.
Okay.
That's how we roll.
Adam, I think I've known both of you guys about the same amount of time, which has been, I don't know, 9 years or so.
Yep.
So you were a senior support or escalation engineer, support escalation engineer for Microsoft out of the Dallas office.
Yep.
When we met, it was when I was early as an MVP. And you and I had many conversations on the phone fixing, I don't know, SharePoint integration with reporting services and analysis services. And my favorite word, this has become kind of a cuss word in the BI space, Kerberos.
Kerberos.
Yes.
Love
Kerberos. Say it again.
Kerberos. Love Kerberos. People think I'm nuts.
Yeah, but you can solve those problems.
I love those problems.
You just hack away.
It was trial by fire, a week full of nothing but Kerberos crit sits. You're forced to learn it.
Right. And Patrick, you worked in the consulting circles.
I did.
He doesn't know Kerberos.
Back in the day.
I don't want to know Kerberos.
Well,
I don't have anything to do with. I've dealt with it. Yeah. I don't know. Kerberos making a comeback.
It is. It's coming back.
Right. Hopefully not in SharePoint. We'll edit this.
Not in SharePoint. Well, it is. I mean, it's there.
Sorry, Mo. Okay, sorry. I said that. Sorry, that's my fault.
All right, but then you kind of established the guy in a cube.
Did.
Platform or the guy in the cube thing. How long ago?
It was 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, December of whatever 3 minus 8.
4.
7. 4.
All right.
2014, December 20. We can do math.
And we have computers to do math.
Hard math.
Right, but you're the go-to guy now, and you're the go-to guys. But I mean, you have been for the past 3 years. Yeah. If I need to know how to do something in analysis services or with Power BI, you're the guy.
It's turned into that.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily the plan. I mean, the whole point of it was I was on the support side, and we had all this information internally. We had wikis that we just track stuff internally, all this stuff on troubleshooting, and I was like, none of this is confidential. Let's just get it out there. So I started blogging, and then I'm like, let's try this video thing. Yeah. And I just started doing the video thing, and it went from there. YouTube, and YouTube's great. And
Patrick, you've been in those circles for a very, very long time. I was very excited to see you join up.
It's absolutely an honor, right?
Yeah,
and
it was natural, man.
We just, we started hanging out, and I was honored because Adam was like, "Hey, you should do this." I was scared at first. I'll be honest. I'm not scared much. I was terrified.
He was terrified.
I was terrified. And the first few videos.
First video, it was Robot Patrick, and I'm like, Patrick's not showing up, man.
Right.
Where's Patrick?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
you bring the funny man.
You were the main man in the power.
Yeah, the power hour.
The power hours and
That's
all
in
the
person.
conferences.
Wait, you were the man that took down the power hour. Was that?
Kind of.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
We won't. This is family friendly. This is family friendly.
All right,
PG.
Let's talk tech.
Okay.
All right, so
all right.
I'm talking today to people today at the PASS conference here in Seattle about the challenges and best practices around managing enterprise BI projects.
Yep.
All right.
We get a lot of that.
We've got Power BI in the mix. We have analysis services in the mix. I would say primarily tabular.
Yeah.
We've got reporting services in the mix.
Yep.
So as we think about large teams where I've got multiple developers building analysis services models, building building Power BI reports. How do we manage that? How do I have 2 or 3 developers working on an SSAS tabular model together? And how do I integrate all of their work together at the end of the day?
Yeah. You want to take you the AS? you take this.
I'll let you go first.
Well, I mean, source control, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Source control.
Yeah.
So with the new models that we've got, it's the JSON format. Makes it really easy to integrate stuff. There's this nice thing called GitHub. Git. Love Git.
Not get.
We've got VSTS integration with Git.
VSTS.
We can manage
you do all sorts of great stuff
code and
with
Git.
that.
Yep.
Okay.
So I absolutely, source control is a must in that scenario.
Okay.
And unfortunately, a lot of people don't do it.
No.
Right? And if you don't, to succeed, I even show people in data tools with my data warehouse. I have a database project, check my database project,
Sure.
build it there.
Sure,
It gives
we've had SQL Server data tools, the original SQL Server
Yep.
data tools, a la Data Dude, for a number of years now, circa 2006, 2007. Yeah, but the BI development tools that
Yes.
are now
Yeah.
part of SSDT.
Yes.
Are all instrumental in managing team
before
projects.
the JSON format too. It was hard on analysis services.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
Because all the files. And
Right.
it was-
That was
It was not easy.
Well, I'll tell you, I worked on some SSAS tabular projects in 2012 where that model.bim file was 150,000 lines long, 200,000 lines long. You go make it property
data.
change, and you can go eat dinner. Yeah, big data.
Big data.
Right.
He said you can go eat dinner.
But
You're right,
that all
though.
got a heck of a lot better in SQL Server 2016.
2016.
With the introduction of
Yep.
JSON.
JSON.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jason's a good guy.
I like Jason.
I like him too. So, what are some of the other challenging issues that you're seeing? as
The
you're
biggest thing
dealing
that I've seen right now from a team development standpoint with Power BI
Yep.
is the fact that Power BI Desktop itself isn't really source control aware.
Right.
So that makes it hard. Now,
Okay.
we can still do things with Git and GitHub where we can check that file in for at least we've got some of the history there. But you got to be really careful about what you're doing because it's essentially a binary file at that point. And you're not actually, it's not like in SQL Server data tools where like the files, you can actually track the changes there. So that's a challenge. That's probably one of the biggest things I've seen
Okay.
on that side.
So am I better off in a larger project to connect only to analysis services and just keep my reports in the PBIX, or does this work with embedded models?
This is my favorite answer in the world. It depends.
It depends.
It depends.
Yeah, we all knew that. We've all been consultants.
So I would say in general, for centralized model development, especially in a team environment, the analysis services model in live connections is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
Because you'll have that tighter control over the model and source control there. You can manage it a lot easier than what you can do in the PBIX file. So you've got a lot more tools that you can at your advantage that you can.
All right. So what guidance do I give my QA engineer who needs to
What's
to
this
test?
QA thing you
Yeah,
speak
right. This is my testing person, who after I've created all my reports and developed everything, needs to be promoted. Project needs to be promoted from dev to test. It needs to go through some test cases and quality control. So how do they deal with a Power BI report file?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
But there's some good
Yeah,
stuff, right? There was a blog
there's tools
post.
out there,
Yeah, there's.
Right. And then my build engineer, and they're used to be dealing
He's asking
with.
tough questions.
Yeah,
we
some
didn't,
really
we
tough
didn't get the
questions.
heads up on
Yeah.
To give you just the easy stuff. Right, but these are people who are really, really used to dealing with app dev projects where I've got code that I check in and then I do a build and that's
Automated
version
build, automated
1.1.0 and
So we are actually, this is funny, this is a good question. We're actually working on a session, a full day session on enterprise, BI development and deployment and things
Awesome.
like that. And so we're hoping to deliver it in the next couple of months. So it's going to address all of those questions.
all right, and where
so
will we go to find that?
it's not official
The first one we're hoping to have it at is SQL Bits in London.
in February.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then
All right.
we'll be doing maybe a world tour with that.
Yep.
thing.
Okay, well, sign me up.
Yeah,
for-
maybe it'll be a pass next year. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Maybe a
we
pass
may
next
see
year.
If we can do
Yeah.
something.
Well, this is good news that
Yeah.
that you're thinking about this, and obviously product leadership are
The
thinking
Power BI
about
team as a
this.
whole is absolutely looking
Yes.
at the
Okay.
enterprise challenges and what we can do with the product to improve that from a lot of different things, both from an admin perspective, from a deployment perspective, from DevOps, all of those things. So
That is
it's
very
absolutely being
encouraging
looked
news.
at.
And let me just say, because this is a message that I need to get to my consulting clients
Yeah.
and those leaders who may be less technical, that I think that we're in a good place today, but we can be in a better place tomorrow.
There's
definitely
absolutely
move.
some challenges, and,
Yeah.
and we're looking to fight them.
Okay. All right. So what else is on that list of common challenges that you're seeing in the community?
For me, it's right. People don't use analysis services. They put everything in the desktop.
Right.
Everything in the desktop, and when they get ready to go live, they have these little data silos.
Yeah.
Just like Excel,
Sure.
right? So Paul, Patrick, Adam, we create graduation rate. How many times?
Right.
How many different calculations do we get?
Oh, well, one
Right.
per copy of the PBIX file.
And then you publish it out, and the numbers are incorrect. We don't get proper funding or something like that. Whatever
right.
happens.
Can you
because-
say data governance?
Can you say data governance? That's where I'm going with it, right? It doesn't exist. It does not exist, and we have to figure out a way, and that's part of the session, right? That's a critical part of any successful BI project, and they don't do it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I know that we're heading in that direction. We're thinking seriously about it, but today, right now, with the state of the products, what are some guidance and best practices to follow?
I would say absolutely. If you have a good sized project and a good team, like definitely look at a centralized model with analysis services. I think that's key. Because you're going to get the data integrity is going to be there, regardless of how many Power BI desktop files you have, because you're controlling those calculations, and that's really going to help. From Power BI desktop perspective, like we talked about some of those challenges, you're going to have to work through it and come up with some processes on your end to help manage the flow of that. Even if you're using GitHub, you're going to have to figure that out. So there are some challenges there.
All right, he's got something to say.
I do.
Sorry, man. You're getting all warm and.
I'm just saying, it's like you could just say that.
I forgot what I had to say. I forgot what I had to say. I completely forgot about it. Keep going.
It's your turn.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Power BI desktop and centralized models and GitHub.
Data governance.
Data
governance. Data governance. So I think, when you start the project, right, what's important is you have to have a data steward. You got to have somebody outside of IT that's going to help you explain the business logic. Because most of you know this better probably than I do. Most of those BI projects fail or not used because we don't have a sponsor outside of IT. And I think it's really important when I start my BI project, when I tell my customers, right, when we're doing proof of concept, anything, hey, we got to find somebody that has some teeth in this game, right, before we start the project, because it's skin. Thank you. Some skin in the game, because if we don't have that person outside, right, that's pulling for us, the project's going to fail. We're going to do it, nobody's going to use it, because IT thinks we think we know everything, right?
So there has to be ownership, stewardship.
Yes.
Awesome. Sponsorship. There's
Sponsorship. That's a lot of ships. I thought you were going to say something else.
There's
a lot of ships.
I was thinking the same thing. It's a lot of show.
So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm a little passionate about it, Paul.
I can tell. I'm
When he gets all sweaty.
That's why
I get excited.
I get
excited.
All right. Anything else that I haven't covered that you think is important?
I'm excited about some of the DevOps capabilities of Power BI. Some of the APIs that are getting released that help us with just managing deployments of things. So one example that I love to use is we have an API now for triggering refresh on a data set.
Okay.
And so we get in these scenarios where
API?
And so a lot of people are like, I can set up scheduled refresh, but I don't necessarily know when the data warehouse is going to be done loading.
Nope.
It's going to be hit or miss on when the cloud actually kicks that off. And so what you can do is, like, if you have an SSIS package, you've got the all flow, at the end of that, my data load's done. So kick off the refresh by calling the API.
Okay. So along with the API, do we have PowerShell commandlets?
So we have put together a Power BI PowerShell GitHub repo. Siri Sun, who's on our team, is a PM on our team. He's put together a few that have wrapped the REST API calls. So we don't have a full package for that, but you can use those as a stepping point to figure out, like, all the hard work is there in terms of getting the auth token and whatnot. So you can use those and plug in the API that you want and figure that out.
More evidence that you guys are taking this seriously, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, we're working on it.
I can't thank you enough for your time today. Great to work with you guys. It's been awesome working with you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here, Paul.
Well,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right, well, keep up the good work.
All right. Thanks, man.